There are places in the world you're better off not visiting, even if it's on your bucket list to travel the entire world. Did you know there is a place in the world that has been on fire for over 50 years? In this video, we're going to take a look at the most dangerous places in the world. Are you ready? First, let's take a look at Snake Island. Another place located in the Atlantic Ocean just off the coast of Brazil lies the infamous Ilha da Queimada Grande, also known as Snake Island, the home of one of the deadliest snakes in the world, the golden lancehead viper, found nowhere else in the world. It's said you're likely to die within an hour of being bitten. It's estimated there are between 2,000 and 4,000 golden lancehead vipers on the island. And with the Brazilian coast 90 kilometers away, it doesn't sound like a good idea to hang around and count them. And they're not even the only snakes on the island. They share the island with the Dipsas albifrons, a snake-eating cousin of the gold lancehead viper. But their diet doesn't make them any more inviting. With the literal thousands of vipers already crowding the island, not that you're invited to begin with, the Brazilian government has outlawed going to the island, only allowing a few scientists a year and only for research purposes. If you do wish to visit the island, even after learning about its inhabitants, you'll need to go through the Brazilian Navy or ask them for permission. Oh, and by the way, the nickname of the island isn't a simple translation of its original Portuguese name. When you roughly translate the name Ilha da Queimada Grande, you get something like Slash and Burn or Big Burnt Island, which says it all, don't you think? Next, we're introducing you to the North Sentinel Islands. In the Bay of Bengal, we find the North Sentinel Islands. From a distance, it may look alluring or even quite inviting, but beware, this is the home of the Sentinelese, a hunter-gatherer race. It is believed that there are 250 of them, and they came to the island over 60,000 years ago. Since then, they seem to have had little contact with the outside world, and is evident from how vastly different their language is. Researchers put them in the Neolithic age developmentally because they seem to know about fire, but not how to make it. In the 70s, 80s, and 90s, anthropologists visited the island and offered the people coconuts, plastic toys, live pigs, and pots and pans. Most of these things remain untouched. And in general, anyone trying to make contact with them has been met with arrows and no remorse, making it clear they have no interest in being included in the rest of the world. Which is probably a good thing, because their immune systems would be ill-equipped to deal with our germ-infested societies. After 2 fishermen were killed in 2006, the government of India decided to give in to the tribe's desire to be left alone and cut them off from the rest of the world. It is illegal to even go 3 miles within the radius of the island. Following, have you heard of Mount Cinnabung? The world has countless volcanoes, but since April 2019, Mount Cinnabung is the only one with a level 4 level alert, making it highly dangerous. It's located in the Karo Highlands of Indonesia. There used to be an active hiking trail that allowed you to visit the volcano and view its beautiful surroundings. But since its activity from 2010 onward, making up for more than 400 years of inactivity, it's very possible this has been completely destroyed. Ever since the volcano was put on level 4 alert, there has been a 7-kilometer exclusion zone implemented by the government, preventing anyone from trying to find out if it's still there. The latest eruption in 2020, when it sent a column of ash and smoke more than 16,000 feet into the air, it had a busy weekend already, but the last explosion covered more than 3 districts, turning the skies dark. Indonesia is located in the Ring of Fire, an area along the Pacific Ocean that is home to about 75% of the world's volcanoes, a lot of which are still sleeping soundly. So if you do wish to see a volcano, we recommend you find yourself another one. This one is awake and doesn't seem to be happy about it either. The Bermuda Triangle in the North Atlantic Ocean. The exact boundaries of this patch of ocean are not universally agreed upon, but no one can deny the mysteriousness of the Bermuda Triangle. Over 50 ships and 20 airplanes are rumored to have disappeared at this location, and were found completely abandoned for no apparent reason. With supernatural theories in abundance, there are also some environmental or geophysical reasons that could be responsible. A popular theory is that ships have been caught by rogue waves, monster waves that can get as tall as 30.5 meters, strong enough to wipe out ships and planes alike, leaving no trace. This particular area of the Atlantic Ocean is a place where storms from different directions can collide, making rogue waves more likely. Either way, we think it's best to avoid the place altogether, just in case it is something supernatural. Still looking for the perfect adrenaline-filled vacation? You are in luck, because we still have several of the world's most dangerous places for you. Did you know there's a hole in the earth that has been burning for the last 50 years? You'll learn all about it later in the video. But first, let's talk about Mailu Su, a former uranium mining town in Kyrgyzstan. It is notorious for its insecure radioactive waste rock heaps. But despite constantly being rated one of the most polluted places in the world, little has been done to fix the problem. It used to be completely closed off from outsiders, producing 10,000 metric tons of radioactive uranium between 1946 and 1967. These days, almost everyone has recent stories of friends or family dying, often related to cancer. Aside from the radioactive waste dumps, millions of tons of waste was buried along the river that runs through Mailu Su, but little information is given to the people who live there, and most seem unaware of the dangers all around them. Despite local officials insisting that they organize educational campaigns and teach children to stay away from the toxic sites, the deputy director of the main hospital, Okumzan Makstalayev, maintains that there is nothing wrong with Mailu Su, stating that cases of cancer have been rising all over the world. We think this is probably not a place you want to spend too much time, if any, just in case he's wrong. Next we have the North Yungas Road, a dirt road covered about 43 miles between La Paz and Coyolco in the Yungas region of Bolivia, known to most as Death Road. Despite the fact that losing control of your car means you could be met with a 2,000-foot drop, no guardrail was ever built to prevent this from happening. Luckily, if you do have to go that way, Death Road is no longer your only option, with the construction of a new highway nearby, but most locals still use the road on a daily basis. It was identified as the most dangerous road back in the 90s. It's only 3 meters wide, often muddy, and was used by bikes and buses alike. It's estimated that between 200 and 300 people who tried traveling down Death Road die each year. But it only took about 25 accidents. This is mainly because more often than not, accidents would involve buses. But the bad shape of the road, sudden changes in weather, and unpredictable dust-ups, not to mention all the other traffic, means no one is safe on Death Road. If you want to take a look at the road, the brave people of Google Street View dared to drive it, just so you can have a peek from the safety of your couch. And lastly, the Turkmenistan Darvasa gas crater. Near a small village named Darvasa, population about 350, there is a 230 feet wide hole known to the locals as the Gates of Hell. It has been on fire for over 50 years. In 1971, a Soviet drilling rig accidentally punctured a hole into a massive underground natural gas cavern, which caused the ground to collapse, taking the entire drilling rig with it. Poisonous fumes began to leak out at an alarming rate. It was an environmental catastrophe waiting to happen. To stop this from happening, the Soviets set the whole thing on fire. That is the story, at least. Local Turkmen geologists think the pit was created in the 60s, not to be lit until the 80s. But since the Turkmenistan was under Soviet rule at the time, the information is classified. But to this day, the fire is still going. Despite its name and obvious danger of the place, people have been fascinated by the everlasting fire, and the nearby desert is a popular place for wild camping. But if you're so inclined to visit places like this, you may not have forever at all. The president of Turkmenistan ordered the government in January to find out how to put it out, but whether the Gates of Hell will allow themselves to be closed remains to be seen. Those were some of the most dangerous places in the world. Did you know they existed? Or did we give you an idea for your next vacation? Let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.